doesn't wear a mask or makes fun of folks like me when I was wearing a mask for a long time, then, you know, people say, well, it mustn't be that important.
The fact is we're winning all these cases because it's unconstitutional what they're doing. And I think they're doing it for political reasons. But the fact is the cure, you can't let this continue to go on with the lockdowns.
President Trump and Vice President Biden going at it tonight from a distance.
Yeah, both candidates competing for viewers and votes. And Dana Rebick is here with more on how it all went down. Dana?
Well, in this town hall format tonight, you had Savannah Guthrie on NBC moderating President Trump's event in Miami and George Stephanopoulos in Philadelphia with Joe Biden. Now, Guthrie asked some pretty tough questions right off the bat, getting Trump to answer questions that he has dodged before, including denouncing white supremacy on the record, which he did tonight, as well as saying he would accept a peaceful transfer of power if he does not win the election, but that he does want an honest one. From Miami to Philadelphia, President Trump and Joe Biden fielded questions from undecided voters and moderators on a range of topics tonight, from the economy and health care to the pandemic. The president saying he's not opposed to wearing a mask, but defending why he often doesn't at White House gatherings.
Everybody's tested, and they're tested often. And I also knew that, hey, I'm president. I have to see people. I can't be in a basement. I can't be in a room. I have to be out.
You can see people with a mask, though, right?
I can, but people with masks are catching it all the time.
Joe Biden tonight asked if elected, would he mandate a COVID-19 vaccine?
But I would think that we should be talking about, depending on the continuation of the spread of the virus, we should be thinking about making it mandatory.
How could you enforce that?
Well, you couldn't. That's the problem. Just like you can't enforce measles. You can't come to school unless you have a measles shot. You know, you can't. But you can't say everyone has to do this. But you would, just like you can't mandate a mask.
Both sides also received questions about the Supreme Court and the nomination of Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Trump asked why several years ago he said President Obama should wait to appoint a justice, and why he has now changed his view.
The whole ball game changed when I saw the way they treated Justice Kavanaugh. I have never seen any human being, and I'm not just talking about Supreme Court, I have never seen a human being treated so badly with false accusations and everything else. I have never seen anything like it. And you know what? The truth is, Savannah, like it or not, the ball game changed a lot.
Biden asked point blank if elected, would he attempt to pack the court?
Don't voters have a right to know where you stand?
They do have a right to know where I stand, and I'll have a right to know where I stand before they vote.
So you'll come out with a clear position before Election Day?
Yes, depending on how they handle this.
And when it comes to Roe v. Wade, Trump said he thought, quote, perhaps it could get sent down to the states, perhaps nothing will happen, but that he has not spoken with Amy Coney Barrett about Roe v. Wade and that it would be inappropriate to do so, standing firm that he feels he does not have an influence over her. Now, Joe Biden tonight saying with her added to the Supreme Court, Americans should be worried about the Affordable Care Act as well as LGBTQ rights. Back to you.
All right, Dana, thank you.